So what is your view about fish and wildlife ponds then? Because I know that there's quite a strong view
Yeah, there
that.
is. So and me and Neil had a friendly debate on our podcast about this because he's got,
Okay.
So I can only go by my experiences and what I know about fish. So it largely depends on the species of fish. So you're not going to want to put a pike or a perch or anything predatory. No, no, no. But at the end of the day, fish are native. They are a piece of our fauna, and they can increase the biodiversity of your pond, particularly things that eat fish. They're only going to go to a pond if there's fish there. What it comes down to is selecting the right species for your pond and largely the size of your pond. A very small pond is not going to be suitable for fish. But if you've got, I kind of go by the bathtub analogy. So if you've got a pond that's bigger than a bathtub, you could probably have a few fish in there. But the bigger, the better, really. So in my pond is, about maybe a little bit bigger than a bathtub. It's not huge, but it's big enough. And I have 9 spine sticklebacks, which are the smallest freshwater fish in Britain. So in fact, the newts and the dragonfly larvae eat them to a degree. So, so they're not kind of predating anything. I've got loads of tadpoles and all that sort of stuff. So they're not really a problem. The mistake is people put 3 spine sticklebacks, which are really aggressive, and they'll eat everything. So, if you're just a casual, you just see a stickleback, you probably put any. So sticklebacks are amazing, and the life cycle is phenomenal. If you've got a spare pond, this is a project, your 5th pond, put sticklebacks in because they're incredible to watch. But unless you've got a large weedy pond where things can get away from them, they just eat everything. So 3 spines aren't great. The one fish I would recommend everyone to consider is called a crucian, which are
a crucian carp?
Yeah. So I get a vein there because everyone calls them crucian. They are a kind of a carp, I suppose, but yeah. And they're great in ponds. They're perfectly designed for still waters. They grow to the size of the environment roughly. So I've got 2 male crucians in my pond. I'm trying to source a female, and they're probably only about 4 inches long, but they can breed at that size because they're adults. They've just stopped growing. They love weedy ponds. All they do is feed on the bottom. They'll eat the odd grub and things, but they're not predatory. They're not chasing tadpoles. They don't chase dragonfly larvae. And to be fair, I don't really see them very often. I just like to know they're there. If I go at night with a torch, as I'm sure you probably do as well, I'll see the crucians in the clear patch. I might put some bits of food down. You don't need to feed them. This is another thing. If you've got a wildlife pond with fish in, just lead them to it. They'll feed themselves. But crucians are amazing. I would recommend them. They're fantastic, and the beautiful buttery colour, really vivid golden colours on them. And if you've got a slightly larger pond, maybe the size of a double bed or more, you could think about something like gudgeon or tench. But the key to having fish and wildlife in the same pond is all those hidey places. You've got to have thick weeds, you've got to have rocks, because if it's out in the open, they're going to get eaten. But if you think about it, there are millions of ponds in the wild that have fish, dragonfly larvae, and vertebrates. They all coexist. It's just having that myriad of habitats. So it's maybe a little bit harder to have fish in there as well, but there's no reason you can't if you've got the right habitat and the right species.